You ever wonder why some machines just die young? Well, today we're diving into this epic battle, right? It's modern engineering versus a totally relentless climate. And our story, it takes us to a place that's basically become a graveyard for one of the most important machines in our homes.
And we're not talking about just any old place. Nope. This is South Florida. It's an environment so extreme, it literally pushes air conditioners to their absolute breaking point. And you know what? What happens down there, it tells a story that's true for all of us, about the limits of the machines we count on to keep us comfortable.
Okay, so to really get why these machines are failing, you've got to meet their arch nemesis. Welcome to Homestead, Florida. Think of it as the perfect storm of challenges for any AC unit. Seriously, it's not just about the heat, we're talking a full-on multi-front war against machinery.
So you're probably asking, what makes this place so ridiculously tough on air conditioners? Well, it's not just one thing. Oh no, it's a relentless combo of factors. Let's break down the numbers.
First up, the heat. And I mean, we're talking a relentless, suffocating heat. Summer temps are constantly in the mid-90s. This isn't some freak heat wave, you guys. This is the norm. For these machines, there's just no escape. Then you pile on this crushing humidity. 85%. You know what that means? Your AC isn't just cooling the air anymore. It's doing a whole second job, and it's exhausting. It's literally pulling gallons and gallons of water out of the air every single day. That workload is just immense. And here it is, the knockout blow. See, up north, AC units get a nice long winter break, right? Down here, these things are running for about 10 months a year. 10 months. That's nearly triple the workload. The poor machine never, ever gets a rest. But wait, there's more. The assault goes way beyond just heat and humidity. You've got this corrosive salt air blowing in from the bay, just eating away at all the metal parts. Then, bam, sudden thunderstorms flood everything. Power surges from hurricanes, they just fry the electronics in a split second. Oh, and let's not forget the fine dust from all the farms that gets inside and clogs the machine's arteries. It is literally a war on all fronts. So, in a place this hostile, failure isn't a question of if, it's always a question of when. And the crazy part is, these breakdowns aren't random at all. They're super predictable. So let's look at the four most common casualties in this war.
First on the list, and it's a big one, is compressor failure. Think of the compressor as the heart of your AC system. It's this powerful pump that circulates the refrigerant. That's the lifeblood to make the cold air. Well, under that relentless 10-month strain, that heart is usually the first major part to give out. Now, the good news is your system will usually cry for help before the compressor totally dies. You'll hear these loud, ugly grinding noises, or it'll really struggle to start up. Sometimes it'll just turn on and off really fast. Those are all huge red flags that its heart is under some serious stress. All right, next up, refrigerant leaks. Remember that salty air we talked about? This is where it does its dirty work. It just slowly eats away at the copper and aluminum parts, creating these tiny little pinprick holes. And through those holes, the system's precious refrigerant just leaks out. And the signs for this one can be kind of sneaky. You'll notice your AC is running all day long, but the house just never feels cool. Or you'll see ice, actual ice, building up on the indoor parts. That's a dead giveaway. And of course, your power bill starts creeping up because the machine is working harder and harder, but doing less and less. Okay, casualty number 3. All that water your AC pulls out of the air, it has to go somewhere, right? It's supposed to flow out this little drain line. But in a place like Florida, that dark, wet little tube becomes the perfect home for all sorts of gunk, algae, mold, you name it. And that gunk, well, it inevitably clogs things up. And when that drain gets clogged, the water has nowhere to go but back inside. You might see it pulling around the indoor unit or, and this is the one nobody wants to see, a big, ugly water stain spreading across your ceiling. A lot of systems actually have a little safety switch that'll shut everything down to stop a major flood, which is a good thing. And finally, we have what I call sudden death, electrical failure. Those crazy Florida thunderstorms, they come with these massive power surges, and those surges can instantly fry the system's brain, all the sensitive little circuit boards and capacitors. And for this one, there's usually no warning. It just stops. Dead. The thermostat screen is blank. Maybe you hear the outdoor unit humming, but the fan won't start. It's just a total, immediate system failure.
Okay, so you're facing one of these totally predictable failures. What do? What's the right move? This isn't just about patching things up. You've got to be strategic. And really, you have three main options.
First, you've got emergency repair. This is like battlefield medicine, right? The goal is to get the cool air back on fast when it dies in that 95-degree heat. Then there's the smart play, preventative maintenance. Think of this as your system's annual checkup. It's all about catching problems before they become emergencies. And finally, there's the big one, system replacement. This is when you decide, you know what, this old thing isn't worth fixing anymore, and you upgrade to something new and reliable. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is interesting, but I don't live in Florida, so why does it matter to me? Well, here's the thing. The lessons learned in this brutal testing ground, they give us some super useful rules of thumb that any homeowner anywhere can use. Let's start with what's called the $5,000 rule. It's a really simple bit of math to help you make that tough repair or replace call. Here's how it works. Take the cost of the repair and multiply it by how old your unit is in years. If that number you get is more than 5,000, it's probably smarter to just replace the whole thing. So, for example, let's say a repair costs $500 and your unit is 12 years old. 500 times 12 is 6,000. That's over 5,000. So, yeah, it's probably time for a new system.
Okay, next up is the 3-minute rule. This one is so simple, but it is absolutely critical for protecting that expensive compressor. Here it is. If your power flickers or the AC turns off for any reason, just wait. Wait at least 3 minutes before you turn it back on. That little pause gives the pressures inside the system a chance to even out. That way, the compressor doesn't have to start up against this huge wall of force, which can cause some serious damage over time. And finally, let's talk a little dose of reality. In a place like South Florida, a typical AC system is only expected to last about 10 to 15 years. That is way shorter than in other milder places. And it's a direct result of that relentless battle we've been talking about. And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. This battle, this fight between our machines and the climate, it's happening in your home too, right now. Maybe your weather isn't as extreme as South Florida, but the basic principles are exactly the same. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Is your home's most vital machine, is it truly prepared for its fight?